I'm a cold red man in a Baja Blast world. I left the arms of my mama for some cheating lying girl. Said she loved me, said she'd be true. Sometimes I don't know what to Mountain Dew. I got tears in my eyes, tears on my jeans. I got tears on the stove to season my beans. I got nothing but sorrow on my mind. I could use a tall glass of red 40 tonight, 'cause I'm a cold red man in a Baja Blast world. I left the arms of my mama for some cheating lying girl. Said she loved me, said she'd be true. Sometimes I don't know what to Mountain Dew.
Hello everybody, my name is Ice Fletch, and welcome back to another episode of the Mountain Dew Diaries. In today's episode, we're going to be trying a flavor today that I am really excited to try, and I've been waiting to try, but it's been unavailable for so long, so hopefully that's a little hint to you, but you've already seen the thumbnail and the title, so you already know what we're going to be trying today. So, without further ado, the Mountain Dew we're going to be trying today is Mountain Dew Whiteout. As always, as according to the Mountain Dew Wiki, Whiteout, previously known as Flavor 493, is a Mountain Dew flavor first released in stores in 2010 as the finalist in the DEWmocracy II promotion, where it won and became a permanent flavor in the United States. However, it became available only in certain regions, only produced by independent PepsiCo bottlers in the Midwest, until eventually disappearing entirely in 2023. It returned on May 18th, 2026, exclusively in the America Pack variety, alongside Code Red and Voltage. Whiteout is a smooth citrus yuzu lemongrass flavor of Mountain Dew, and as its name implies, is white in color. Its previous tagline was smooth citrus flavor dew with other natural flavors. In the United States, while its diet version tagline was smooth citrus diet dew with other natural flavors. Its current tagline for the summer of 2026 release is smooth citrus, naturally and artificially flavored, and dew. So that's a little backstory of the extensive flavor of Whiteout. Such a unique and special flavor if you really dive down, get into the history of it. You know, how it was released through DEWmocracy, which is one of the things that make Mountain Dew great, with its interaction between fans and consumers of Mountain Dew. And how it, wasn't really in a widespreadly released flavor. It was kind of an exclusive in itself, kind of like modern-day Livewire in cans. But at the end of the day, it's a flavor that I am glad to see back, and I'm glad to try, because I thought it would be an ancient flavor that was in the Dew Vault that I could have just never found unless I found it for $500 on eBay and it was expired in, by 10 years. But with the Mountain Dew America Pack, which comes with Code Red, Voltage, and Whiteout, we get to experience Whiteout here in 2026. Before we get started, I want to shout out my aunt once again for supplying me this Whiteout and the America Pack that we will be trying Whiteout through today. So without further ado, let's go see what my first impressions is of Mountain Dew Whiteout. Alright, here we go. We're here to taste Whiteout and see the color of Whiteout. I am really excited to try this Mountain Dew, just because it's one of those classic flavors that I was like, I don't know if it was ever going to come back, but it's come back within the America Pack. So, the smooth citrus, we're about to try it, so let's give it a crack and pour, see what I have to say. Alright, here's the pour. Okay. Smells very citrusy. Very citrusy. Kind of that Sprite citrus. That lemon lime citrus. It smells very much lemon lime. And let's look at this can design real quick. We've got some eagles. We've got some lemons out in the. It reminds me a little bit of the frostbite kind of design, of that snowiness, but let's give it a shot. Mountain Dew Whiteout. That is very good. Very good. Very smooth. Reminds me a lot of maybe a little less carbonated Sprite. I haven't had 7-Up in a while, so I can't really give my suggestion if this tastes like 7-Up or not. Or Starry. I think Starry tastes more like Sprite than 7-Up, but I haven't had 7-Up in a while, so I can't really tell you if it really tastes like 7-Up. But it's very smooth. It's not the traditional Mountain Dew Citrus. When we think of Mountain Dew Citrus, it's that tropical, that Baja Blast, the Baja Citrus, all of the flavors of that kind of tropical citrus, not smooth citrus like this. That's very good. That is very good. I mean, that's really all I gotta say is that's very good, very smooth tasting Mountain Dew. It's not as sharp as some flavors of Mountain Dew are. Some Mountain Dew flavors are really, really, really sharp. And at the end of the day, this doesn't taste that sharp. It's smooth citrus. It goes down smooth, really good. I think it's a very, very balanced Mountain Dew. It doesn't really have anything wrong with it. It knows what it's trying to be, and there's I don't really have any complaints about it, because all it simply is that lemon lime citrus, smooth citrus, and it does it very, very well. I mean, it's not trying to be another flavor, and it's not lacking in that flavor department. I think it's very good. I mean, I'm continuously sipping on it, so it is very good. It's almost lemony. You know, when you have that Sprite, it's a mix of that lemon lime. This is maybe a bit more lemony, a bit more, not sour, but that kind of sour twang to it, rather than lime or, you know, something else citrusy to balance it out. But I have zero complaints. I like Sprite, you know, as just a lighter soda to drink, and this is a lighter soda, even though it's labeled as a Mountain Dew. I really have no complaints about Whiteout, so rebranded Mountain Dew Whiteout, very good. Now, we're not going to be moving on to the tier list and the review just quite yet. So let's go do something a little bit different. Alright, so you're probably wondering, what are we doing, Fletcher? And why are we in your kitchen? Well, we're going to be doing something special that we can only do with the America Pack because of the flavors that are provided to us. We are going to be making some homemade USA. Let's cut to Fletcher telling us what is USA. Oh, hey Fletcher, what's up? You guys want to know what Mountain Dew USA is? As always, as according to the Mountain Dew Wiki, Mountain Dew USA was a Mountain Dew flavor initially released in the summer of 2017 for a limited time. In March 2020, plans came out that it would be coming back in July 2020 as a tie-in for the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, before being pushed back to summer of 2021. Dew USA was a mixture of Mountain Dew that had a purple look with the combination of 3 existing flavors, red for Code Red, white for Whiteout, and blue for Voltage, which represented the colors of the United States flag. Its tagline was Dew, united with 3 flavors. Let's get back to the regular program, shall we?
Thank you, Fletcher, for telling us what Dew USA is. Now, through some extensive internet research, I have found a recipe that we can use to make some Dew USA. We need a measuring cup with ounces on it, and of course with 3 flavors. And I've got a mug right here because I don't know how much this makes, but anyways, first of all, shout out Danny's Garage, or Danny Johnson's Garage on YouTube for making this video. I'll provide the video link in the description if you want to make your own homemade Dew USA. Now, this recipe involves some Whiteout, or not white. Well, of course it involves Whiteout, but we're using ounces today, so make sure your measuring cup has ounces on it. So first, we make this recipe because it's going to perfect that purple within that USA.
You know, I've seen some people mix it, and I even have a Reddit recipe that I wrote down where it just says 50% voltage, 25% whiteout, and 25% code red, which that may be what it is, but at the end of the day, to perfect this purple color of whiteout, we're going to be using this recipe by Danny Johnson. So, first of all, we're going to take our code red out of the 3 flavors. Not to mention we have red, white, and blue. So we're going to take our code red, and we only need 2 ounces of code red. So, here we go. What's 2 ounces of code red? I'm going to try this perfect, so I'm going to be down like this. Okay. That's 2 ounces of code red into our mug. Simply like that. We're going to have some little mixing in the measuring cup, but that's alright. Okay, so our code red is done. Now, let's move on to our whiteout, where we need 3 ounces of whiteout. So, let's measure out 3 ounces of whiteout. Like that, there we go. 3 ounces of whiteout in the mug. Alright, I really hope this fits. But we need 7.5 ounces of voltage to really encapsulate this purple color. So here we are. I think I'm going to need a bigger glass, but if that comes to a point, we'll cut to it. Right, 7.5 ounces of voltage. There, it's a little close to me. Alright, let's here. Want to be slow? It's going to be perfect. And there we are, with our homemade USA. I would say the voltage maybe go down to 7 if you have a smaller glass like me. And this recipe can always be adjusted just as long as you know, if you know the equivalence of ounces, because this is a pretty big mug and it's not that big. Okay, we have everything measured out into this mug, so now we need to take our mixer and just mix it together a little bit. You can see it's that very nice purple color of whiteout, or USA, sorry. We're just going to be mixing. Not too aggressively, because this is about to overflow. But make sure we're mixing all these flavors together so we can get that good mixture of ratio. Now it's important to mention I've never had USA, so I don't really know what it entails, what it's supposed to taste like. But I think homemade is close enough, and I think most of us know homemade is always better, so at the end of the day, that's really all that matters. Okay, that should be good. That should be good. Here we go. Okay. Here we go for my official tasting of Danny Johnson's USA recipe, aka Homemade USA. That's pretty unique, pretty good, pretty good. It's so odd that I can taste all of these flavors. You have the distinct blue raspberry of voltage, that sharp cherry taste of code red, and the smooth citrus in whiteout. And I think all of these flavors encapsulate it very well and make it a very good taste. And that's very good. And necessarily there isn't a flavor here. It's literally just those 3 flavors of Mountain Dew mixed together. So I can't really base it off anything or tell you if it tastes like an artificial version of something, because it's literally just those. And I taste every single one of them in there. The voltage is a little bit overpowering, but at the end of the day, that's how we make it that purple flavor. And I would assume to make it that purple flavor, or purple color, excuse me, they needed to add a lot more voltage in there. But at the end of the day, I think the taste is very good. I would say this is probably a good encapsulation of Danny Johnson's Mountain Dew recipe. I've seen people where they just pour it willy-nilly and they don't get it to that purple color, but that's pretty accurate. I mean, that's pretty purple. They usually get some looks like light or dark orange, but that's purple if I've ever seen purple. So, alright. That is my homemade USA recipe by Danny Johnson. So let's move on to the tier list, then the review and the ranking of Whiteout and Dew SA, because this is the closest I'll get unless they re-release Dew SA. So let's go do that right now. Alright, here we go. Mountain Dew Whiteout. I have taste at 9 out of 10, branding at 8 out of 10, and overall this rounds out to about an 8.5 out of 10. I think the taste at 9 out of 10, this is a very good Mountain Dew. It's very unique then that it's not similar to other Mountain Dews. It's not that typical tropical citrus flavor. It's its own kind of citrus flavor, and I think that what makes it so good. It's smooth, it's a good drink, and I like it a lot. Branding at 8 out of 10, the DEWmocracy thing is so cool, and I think the whole brand design, the redesign, the original brand design, everything, it's just so peak, and this is a peak flavor of Mountain Dew. And I just don't really have anything bad to say about the branding. Overall, I think this rounds out to about an 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. I think there's maybe a few things that could be a bit different, but what it is with that lemon lime smooth citrus flavor, I don't really have any complaints. And I think this is a very good Mountain Dew. And at the end of the day, keep being Whiteout. That's all I'm gonna say about this. Just keep being you. Alright, here we go. Mountain Dew SA in quotation marks, because this is a, homemade Dew SA. I have taste at 8 out of 10. I don't think there's really anything bad about this. I think it's a very good flavor, but I think some flavors are maybe a bit more overwhelming. And Code Red, Voltage, and Whiteout are all good Mountain Dew flavors, but, some are a bit more overwhelming than others, which I didn't try the original, so I don't know if, it was overwhelming in the original. But branding a 7 out of 10, I think this whole Dew SA thing is kind of cool. But I think with the exodus of it kind of so abruptly after the 2021 re-release, I think, it kind of leaves it a little bit, with the only way that you can get this is through the America Pack, and you don't really know that, which is just kind of diminishing of the branding. And overall, 7.5 out of 10. I don't think this is a bad Mountain Dew, and with it being homemade, I don't really know the true experience, but I might as well put this in here because I don't know if it's ever going to release again. So, Mountain Dew USA, 7.5 out of 10. Alright, here we go. I put Whiteout at A on the tier list, and I put my homemade Dew SA, and I guess just Dew SA flavor as a whole, at B on the tier list. I think Whiteout is really good, and I really have no idea why they discontinued it. I guess Livewire kind of came in and was giving it probably competition, and, it kind of lost its staple as one of the iconic Mountain Dew flavors. But at the end of the day, this is not a bad Mountain Dew, and I love that they really released it through the America Pack, and I really have no complaints with the flavor, and I'm definitely going to be, sad when I get to that last can, but at the end of the day, it's a very good flavor. So, I think it deserves to be at A on the tier list. And I think Dew SA deserves to be at B on the tier list. It's a very good mixture of flavors, and it's all good flavors mixed together, so I really have no complaints. But at the end of the day, if I could try the original, I could probably base it off and give it a better tier list reflection. But at the end of the day, I think it deserves to be at B on the tier list. Thank you guys for once again watching another episode of the Mountain Dew Diaries. And I want to also thank you for watching this extra long episode. If you stayed to the end, make sure you comment down below what your favorite Mountain Dew flavor out of Whiteout, Code Red, and Voltage is. But I want to say thank you for watching this extra long episode, because it was extra long, and I was crafting my homemade Dew SA, and we did a bunch of extra stuff, which I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see more, obscure Mountain Dew things, like making custom Mountain Dews or anything like that, let me know in the comments down below. And thank you guys for your support, because that's what keeps me going with these. So this is really only one of my things that got me caught up. I'm officially caught up with my backlog of all of my Mountain Dews and all of my monsters, so only new stuff from here on out. So thank you guys for watching once again. So that's really about it. See you guys. Peace!